Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be hopping into a new format of Yu-Gi-Oh! Explaining the rules and how to play in the new Rush Duels, which just came out in 2020. So this is a completely new set of rules that are only going to be affecting Rush Duels because this is a separate game, if that kind of makes sense. I don't know if any of you guys have played Dungeon Dice or Speed Duels, but they're different. They're separate from the regular game. But we're going to be going ahead and checking out what the heck this thing is, as well as going over some of the new card effects. And I don't think that you can use the same cards that are crossover. I know with Speed Duels, certain tournaments will allow you to kind of use some of the cards because they're kind of the same. But I think these are completely different, but who knows? This just got announced, so there's a lot of stuff to kind of go ahead and go over, and there's a lot of stuff that is maybe unclear. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. And these are translations, keep in mind, so if anything is kind of weird over here, things can be maybe changed later down the line. Anyways, so this is the Rush Duel. Let's go ahead and actually zoom up on this so we can actually see the text a little bit more clear here. And let's talk about it. I'm curious to know what you guys think about it after we go ahead and check it out. So anyways, the decks are between 40 and 60 cards. The starting hand is actually 4 cards, so that's interesting. Starting life point is 8,000, so this is completely similar, I would say, for the most part, and then you start with one last card. Anyways, Rush Duels field over here. So it looks like I don't know, is there pendulums? Okay, so monster zone where you put your monsters. Okay, that's probably the 3 monster zones over here. Spell and trap zone where you spell and traps. Okay, that's obvious. Deck zone where you put the deck. Graveyard where your cards go after you use them. Field zone where you put field spells, and extra deck where you put your special cards face down. All right, so no pendulum and no links. I think that's what we've been asking for. Maybe this is the better format here. Okay, so this is kind of crazy. Rush Duels traits. Draw a lot. Draw until you have 5 cards in your hand during your draw phase. So that means just go all in every single turn. I like it, okay? It might be out of control, but the thing is that the game's out of control anyways. Let's be honest here. The player with the first turn draws 1 as well. Okay, so you always draw until you have 5, and if you start with 4, you still draw. Okay, so that's more like regular Yu-Gi-Oh! If your hand size is 5 or more, you still draw 1. Okay. But you draw until you have 5, so why wouldn't you just use all your cards? I don't know, unless you're trying to play some Infinity build. Anyways, no limit to your hand size. That's kind of crazy. Continuous summon. You can normal summon and set monsters from your hand as many times as you want. Okay, interesting. So the way that the game works, the duel starts, you have your draw phase, main phase, battle phase, and end phase. So there's no main phase 2. So you immediately go main phase to battle phase, and then that's it. This is more similar to, I think, Duel Links, right? Because Gladiator Beasts significantly suffer from no main phase 2. Like, it really does hurt certain decks to the point where, they're just significantly not nearly as good, right? And it says, regarding the effects of Rush Duel monsters, the effect of face-up monster on the field can only use its effect once per turn while it remains face up. Okay, that's kind of how a lot of newer Yu-Gi-Oh cards are. They're always once per turn. This is 7 Roads Magician. So now we have the effects of some of these cards, and the way that they look is really cool. I love the new level system where they put the level right next to it, so you don't have to sit there and count. It's actually so helpful. It's a nice quality of life thing. Anyways, it's got 2100 attack, 1500 defense points, and it says the requirement: you can activate this by sending the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Okay, the effect is gains 300 attack for each different attribute amongst the monsters in your graveyard until the end of this turn, okay? And there's also new starter slash structure deck cards. So these are the 2 new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So we have Yugioh as well as Rook, I guess is their name. But these are new starter structure deck cards. And let's go and check them out and see if they're going to be viable in regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, I don't think that there is a crossover. Like Speed Duels, there is kind of a crossover. The cards are literally the same, right? But these could be completely different. So let's check out the new card. I guess this is probably his ace monster. So this is Rush Dragon Dragears, okay? So it is a light level 7 dragon effect monster with 2500 attack and 1500 defense points over here. Interesting enough, they put the light, dark, whatever on the top right, but they kept the level over here. I think everything should be right in the center. I think that'd be a little bit more clear, but anyways, topic for another day. Anyways, the requirement to send the top card of your deck to the graveyard to activate. So again, remember, you could just keep on summoning every single turn, so getting out any card should be pretty easy, right? Anyways, the effect of this turn, during battle phase in which this card destroyed a monster by battle, this card can attack once again. I mean, if you could normal summon infinite times, more than likely your opponent's gonna have 3 monsters out, right? I mean, this card could be a pretty cool effect. It doesn't gain like a huge bonus in stats, but the 2500 attack, maybe just with an equip, could be like pretty good for this because you're able to just keep on attacking over things. Anyways, next up we have the Dark Dragon Knight, which is a level 5 Dark Dragon normal monster, and it's got 1600 attack, 1100 defense points. This is just flavor text. A Dragon Knight who leads the Dark Army, is merciless, and strikes without equal, an evil sword he wields consumes the soul of his enemies, continuing to grow. Okay, that's kind of a cool artwork though. Anyways, another vanilla monster over here. We have Dragolight, which is a level 4 Earth Dragon normal monster with 1500 attack and 0 defense points. I don't really care about the flavor text too much. I'm not going to read these anymore. I was just curious to see if they had another effect, because there are normal monsters that are pendulums that do technically have effects anyways, and I was just double checking. If there are, then I'll read the full thing. Anyways, next up we have Dragonic Pressure over here, and it's a spell card. So the requirement is to send 3 monsters, dragon, from your hand or the graveyard to activate that card. That's a big cost. Remember, 5 cards every single turn. Effect, destroy all monsters on both sides of the field. If any monsters are destroyed by this effect, you can special summon 1 monster level 4 or lower dragon from your graveyard in face-up defense position. Okay, that's kind of like a meta effect. Yeah, board wipes, but keep in mind, this is 1 card, and that's 3 cards that you have to use to activate. Yeah, you do get another monster. What's the defense on any of these? 0 and 1100. 1500. I mean, the stats are kind of mediocre, and your opponent's going to draw a bunch of cards anyways. I don't know if this can be activated like during your opponent's turn, like a quick play or something. It just says spell card. I don't know if they're going to have quick plays. There's a lot of new stuff. Keep in mind, guys, a lot of this stuff is very new information. Like, literally, we just got it. So let's go and check out the rest of the cards and talk a little bit about it. And I'm curious to know what you guys think of it so far. So far, it seems like like vanilla cards are just outdated. You know what I mean? Like, well, why add them to the game unless there's some bonus support to vanilla monsters, or they have higher stats than, let's say, normal monsters, right? Anyways, Severn Road Magician is a level 7 Dark Spellcaster effect monster with 2100 attack, 1500 defense points. Oh, we read this card already. This is one that gains 300 attack for each different attribute amongst the ones in your graveyard until the end of this turn. Okay, we've already seen this card, but that's the artwork of it. Probably his ace monster as well. Next up, we have Kaze Tsukai Torna, or Windcaster Torna, which is a level 6 Wind Spellcaster effect monster, 1600 attack, 1000 defense points, and its requirement is to send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. The effect is to change the battle position of a monster your opponent controls. Attack position becomes face up to defense position becomes face up attack position. Okay, so it just changes the battle position. Okay, not anything too big, but you know, it can be nice to run over certain things. Dark Sorcerer is a dark spellcaster, normal monster, level 4, and just flavor text. Okay, next up we have the Wind Spirit's Blessing over here, which is a spell card that says send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to activate. The effect is to choose 1 monster you control, spellcaster. It gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. Okay. So in order to activate, I guess most of the cards you have to actually like pay some type of cost. The cost in this game is to send 1 card, and that can beef up the other card. I mean, all you need is 2 cards to kind of deal with the other like boss monster, because it has what, 2500. I mean, I'm not sure. I think it's too early to say which structure deck is better, simply due to we only have like a few cards announced. So here's my thoughts, and I'm again curious to know if you guys like this or if you dislike it. And I will cover this regardless on my channel, just to kind of see how it goes. I also wanted to mention that Rush Duels will not be coming out for the TCG, at least as of right now. The original plan with this new format with Rush Duels is it's going to be Japan only for now. If I'm guessing this is what's going to happen. If it sells well over there, they will also reintroduce it here. If you guys didn't know, they're really trying to push towards a younger audience. That's why you can tell by the artwork over here that it's definitely trying to cater towards more maybe casual audience. The deck zone is more simplified, more like Duel Links. But what about Speed Duels? Wasn't that supposed to be like the easy entry here? Like, I think there's just too many things, and we need to bridge the gap into just 1 game, I think. And I think that'd be easier for people, because when you have so many other things like Dungeon Dice and all these other things, it just divides the player base. But maybe this will be the new way to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and this will be much better. I mean, for me personally, I do like synchros. I mean, we don't even know what we're going to have in the actual deck yet, but I've not been a big fan of pendulums. You guys know that, and I like this idea over here. It's more like Duel Links though at the end of the day. But the idea of drawing all of your cards really incorporates the idea to kind of come back into the game. But again, I just feel like vanilla monsters are just too outdated. Why even have them in the game? Unless they have bigger stats, right? If they have like 2,000 attack, that would make sense. But the effects aren't really super OP as of right now. I mean, we already have a card that completely pops the entire board, which was that, what is it, the Draconic Pressure. It's just too hefty of a cost. And again, your opponent's going to draw all those cards next turn, so what's the real point? Because it's alt monsters on both sides of the field too. And yeah, at least you get something out of it. But again, then you'd be able to normal sign and maybe attack. And you do have 8,000 life points versus Duel Links with a lower amount of life points. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes. So far, it's just kind of up in the air for me. I'm not going to say that I really like the idea, but I do like the idea of dual pendulums. I'll tell you that's for sure. But other than that, that's just more kind of like a personal preference thing. But again, let me know your thoughts on it down below. But thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you guys are new here and you want to check out more Rush Duels, I will be covering them as soon as they come playable. Like right now, they're not really playable, right? Like there's not enough cards to make a deck out of it. So we'll be doing some gameplay. I hope like Dueling Book adds some type of Rush Duels because they already have the speed duel system already up and running. But anyways, if you guys want to see more Rush stuff, hit subscribe, turn on that bell, and you'll see more very soon. But if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one where hopefully we get more of these Rush cards, and we'll check them out, and we'll see if it's better or if it's just something we'll skip out on, at least on my channel. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace.